This is a longfin eel in New Zealand. This is a giant saguaro cactus in the Sonoran Desert of Tucson, Arizona. And this is me, Stephanie Bowman. A lot of kids in New Zealand know me as the Eel Lady or Te Tuna Wahine. And you're probably wondering why in the world I'm talking about eels and trying to get a book published on the longfin eel, and at the same time I'm here in the desert. So to explain it, I guess I should tell you a little bit of a story. Several years ago, I guess about 4 years ago, I was here in Tucson, minding my own business, teaching biology, teaching art classes, for school teacher. And my son and I decided to go to New Zealand, basically as tourists, but visiting some American friends that had moved there. Fell in love with it, gorgeous place. But something happened to me near the end of the trip, and all I can really say is there was like a compass shift inside of me. And I knew that my life was changing direction and kind of getting back on course that was really right for me as a conservationist. So I didn't know what all that meant. I just knew before I left New Zealand that I had to get back down there. So sure enough, a few months later, I did. I went back down. And this time, instead of being like a tourist, I really explored a little bit more and really learned about the place and the problems that were there. For example, trying to go swimming in some of the freshwater rivers that are so beautiful. I learned it wasn't safe because they were polluted, and I was very confused because this was like clean, green New Zealand, 100% pure. So this was kind of confusing. And one of the most beautiful places I went, actually, got it right here, whoops, was Lake Rotoiti, where I first fell in love. By the way, these are images from the book that I'm getting ready to tell you about, but I'll show you a couple now, where I fell in love with these guys, the longfin eel. And I just thought they were just super cool, swimming right up to me. I could feed them. They were velvety, really interesting. And so when I got back home, I learned a little more about them, and I found out that they're this incredible fish in New Zealand. They only live in New Zealand, and that they're basically going extinct. And not only that, I mean, they're as threatened as the great spotted kiwi, but they're being commercially fished, and that's still allowed by the New Zealand government. And that was the moment where I realized why my compass had shifted, and that it was time for me to take action. So I did what any sensible person would do right when the economy was crashing, and that was I quit my job, and I went to New Zealand for 3 months, stayed with a friend in Nelson, and worked on what I decided I had to do, which was this book. So this is the children's book that I'm hoping you'll give money towards getting printed. The book is already done, and the idea was to tell the story of Velvet and Elvis, a mother and son eel. The mother migrates from Lake Rotoiti. Oh, so I can do this. And eventually makes it far back out to sea, which is what is an incredible thing about their life story. And eventually her son Elvis returns back to the waters of New Zealand. So it's a book I created to really raise awareness for the longfin eel in New Zealand, and to try to help the petition that's been going around the country to ask for a ban on commercial fishing until more studies can be done and we can understand this mysterious fish much, much better. So what I need from you is some help in actually going to print. What I've done, again, I've written the whole story. I've done all the illustrations. I've traveled all around New Zealand sharing this story with kids, North Island and South Island, and it's been really well received. And a lot of people are wanting it, probably you included, but I just want to get it into print. And the great thing is I found a publisher in New Zealand, Papawai Press, who's ready to go with it, and she found a printer that's also in Wellington that can print the book. Could have gone a little bit cheaper having it printed in China, but I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to keep it Kiwi made. So that was important to me. So the money I'm raising will go directly to get the books printed and sent to you, and also to other people all over New Zealand, other kids in their schools and in their libraries and in their homes. So on March 19th, we're going to meet in Wellington at Te Papa, where this huge giant version of this mother eel, Velvet, who's been made by thousands of people around New Zealand. She's now about 150 meters long, that's my guess at the moment. She's going to be hanging on the walls of Te Papa, and the morning of March 19th, we're all going to meet, take her down off the walls, and carry her to the Beehive, where Parliament is actually sitting that day, and we're going to march our tuna right around Parliament and present the petition to place the ban on commercial fishing of the longfin to Eugenie Sage. And it should be a fantastic day, and I really want to have these books in print before that. I want to give them out to you while you're there, you know, signed by me, and that would mean so much to have the books out by that time. So I'll just finish up by saying that I hope you give for yourself to get the book and for others to get it. And also closing by saying that I started this whole thing, again, a shift in my moral compass, but I have a son. So I kind of can relate to Velvet, the mother eel. And I wanted to show my son that if you really believe in something, like one person taking action can really make a difference. And it's like a long, hard journey, but you can do it. I'm actually crying. And it's been such a big part of my life. What I've actually learned myself is that it's not about one person. It's when a whole bunch of people join together. You know, one person is powerful because a lot of people have joined them, and that's what really makes a difference. So I hope you'll help. Thanks.